Oh, it never gets old. That's the most amazing entrance music I've ever had. I don't know if you guys know this out in Winject world, but Justin Shank actually composed that. He's in a four-man guitar band. The guitar, you know, like the keyboard that you strap over your shoulder, the keyboard guitar. That's all him. So he's got skills. Kathryn Ely, welcome to Winject World, the Thursday Spotlight. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm great, Adam. How are you today?
I am outstanding. I'm very excited to be here. We are going to focus on you today. Like, you are my spotlight person. And Carlin, we got Kathryn's name misspelled. Her last name is just one L. It's E-L-Y. So pop that on there for me when you get a chance. But we are going to focus on Kathryn Ely. And you've got something going on that a lot of podcasters, and I know a lot of podcasters in our Winject World universe here, are going to deal with at some point or another. We're diving into a rebrand, and you and I have been kind of working on that, and I'm really excited about it. So why don't you first tell us a little bit about Imperfect Thriving, and then let's talk about where we're taking that with the second generation of that show.
Yes, you have really been helping me with that. It's so exciting. So, you know, Imperfect Thriving was sort of born from my counseling practice. I realized when I was going through school, when I went back to school to get my master's in clinical mental health, I realized exactly how anxious I was. And I kept diving into it and realized I was a perfectionist and what that was doing to my life. And I started the podcast because I only have so much one-on-one time with clients. I wanted to see if I could help a broader audience with perfectionism, with looking at the 8 domains of our lives and really taking the action to get more satisfied in every area of our lives and not just work. So that's where Imperfect Thriving was born.
And now, how deep are we into the Imperfect Thriving journey? Like, what episode are you on right now?
I'm on 60 something. It is just over a year.
Yeah.
January 29th was a year. So 60, 61, 62, somewhere around there.
So what I find to be interesting is that I talk to a lot of podcasters. Like, I talk to dozens and dozens of podcasters every single week. And I know lots of people that go through like a rebranding, like rebirth. And it almost always happens right around the 1 year mark. It seems like we've been in the game for a year. We've been talking to our audience for a year. We've been putting out content. We know what they like. We know what they don't like. And I feel like we just get a little bit more dialed in on who we want to serve, who we can best serve. And then we're like, oh crap, it doesn't fit anymore. My show title, it doesn't fit. My show theme, it's not in alignment. And we start to feel that misalignment. And we go through the conversation of, is this a new show? Is this a rebranded show? What do I do? So let's, just shine a little bit of light on your thought process with, deciding like, I think it's time for a rebrand.
Yeah, I'm a data collector, right? I mean, I analyze everything all the time. It's a blessing and a curse, right? We have to separate from it some in perfectionism. But I think it takes about a year to gather enough data to see it's not just what is the information I'm putting out there, what am I basically selling, even if it's free, right? But it's who wants it, who am I selling it to, and putting all of those people, and how am I selling it? So what, who, and how, and is that all gelling the way you want it to gel? And I think over that year of collecting data, I started realizing that how many entrepreneurs are perfectionists and how it is affecting their lives and how I connect with them through the different guests that I've had on the show and the different people that I've talked to. And that really is my ideal connection and my ideal audience. I'm an entrepreneur as well. So I'm a perfectionist, I'm an entrepreneur. And I started seeing that entrepreneurs either have it all going on in their business and they're struggling in their personal lives to pay attention to the rest of their lives, or because they're perfectionists, they're having trouble getting out of their comfort zone and getting their business where they want it to be. And that's where I want to be.
And I love that kind of 2-lane focus on who you think you can really help the most. It's those ultra successful entrepreneurs that they're, doing that entrepreneurial thing that we do, and then we let the rest of our life kind of fall to the back burner, or the person that has all that talent, all that potential, but they're capping themselves. They're putting a ceiling on their own capabilities because of their perfectionist mindset and attitudes. And you're like, I can serve those people. I represent those people. I'm on that hero's journey. And it's not like you're preaching from the mountaintops. Like, you're in the trenches figuring all this out yourself. And this is how you are coaching and teaching people. And, in one of our conversations, you're like, these are the people I want to help. Like, these are the ones that know they need help. They're willing to pay for help. And I can crush it with the way that I can teach and help them break through or pull their life back into order. So I love it. And go ahead and drop the new name, because we worked together on this new name, and I'm super fired up about it.
Well, you say that we worked together on the new name, but I have to give you all the credit, because you came up with the new name. I just said yes to it because it was so good. It's Entrepreneurs Unstuck. Love it. I absolutely love it, because that is what happens. We're either stuck in our personal lives or stuck not achieving what we want to achieve in our professional lives. And the same system, the same program that I've put together, the same order of classes works for both.
Yeah. So we're just niching down, and as well as anybody, I'm always talking about the niche. Like, how can we go deeper into the niche? And it's not like Imperfect Thriving was about helping perfectionists across all specters of life, and diving into the entrepreneurial space and going, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a perfectionist. Like, this is a show for entrepreneurial perfectionists. And I love that double niche. Like, I think we should have 2 to 3 niche columns that we can operate in, especially if we're trying to create a business around this. Like, you want your show. When I hear Entrepreneurs Unstuck, if I'm an entrepreneur and I know that I'm limiting myself, or I'm limiting my life and my relationships, I'm raising my hand going, that sounds like something that I need to check out. And just that title. Now, she said that I came up with the title, but Kathryn's first title, it rhymed. She has more of a potty mouth than me. I'm not going to say it, but Unstuck, it was and it started with an F, and it ended with So just saying, I'm just saying, she looks like Miss Alabama over here, but she gets pretty rowdy. She taught me a few new words that I didn't even know. So I'm just saying. So what's the game plan with the rebrand? Like, obviously we're kind of strategizing together on this, but obviously we want to announce to your current audience that things are going to be switching up. Let's walk through that a little bit as far as the game plan, how we're going to do this.
Yeah. So, working on the logo, I think I came up with the logo yesterday.
Nice.
Planning on a solo show to really talk to my listeners and give them my why. I mean, I think they deserve to know, right? The people that have been loyal to the show and have been invested in the show, I want to explain to them my why and invite them along on the journey. So I think that's an important transition. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then let's line up the entrepreneurs that I want to interview on the show, right? I want to interview my ideal client that I can help, that can also help the other entrepreneurs listening. So these are going to be entrepreneurs who have found a way to become unstuck, or who might be thriving in one area and still stuck in another. So it's finding those guests for the show that are really going to resonate with other entrepreneurs.
Yeah. And, I challenge you to do this. I'm like, Kathryn, when you turn on that microphone, I want you speaking to potential ideal clients every time. And like you said, there's 2 real ideal guest avatars that you're going after. The person that's figured it out, that is thriving in life and in business, but they have that story that everyone can pull from, and your ideal potential clients are listening in. Or it's like that live coaching session of somebody's in the trenches doing it, and you're doing a live fly on the wall session, teaching how you know how to teach using your processes, that's teaching them. A lot of those people are like, ooh, I think, you know, we're putting a whole process together, but it's like, I think I might need Kathryn's help a little bit outside of this. And they're going to ask you about that. That leads to a customer journey. But also all the people listening in to your show are now hearing you as a coach. And that's where a lot of podcasters that sell coaching, you know, consultation roles, anything where you're like elevated, you know, even just public speaking. If you don't do any solo episodes and if you don't do any coaching examples, people, your listeners aren't seeing you as a coach. So you live action, thinking on your feet, putting people through a coaching session and putting that out as an episode, that's promoting so that the next time you're like, hey, I've got some coaching roster spots open, or maybe they come on the show. They've already heard you coach dozens of times. So they already see you as that seeds the offer. And a lot, like, this is what I do on all of my shows. I'm like, okay, I'm bringing on people that are either great connections, great teachers, or great potential clients. And all that leads towards a healthy customer journey. So I'm really excited for you about this. How do you feel about that, the potential of flipping on the microphone and always talking to potential clients?
It's so exciting and energizing. Like, I mean, I'm not going to be able to stand it. I'm going to be just so excited. Like, I've begun to actually like do my podcasting standing up because I can't control, like I can't sit still. It's so much fun and it's so exciting. And that in the moment, digging down to uncover whatever that entrepreneur's limiting beliefs are and like on the spot is the most exciting and most fun thing that I can do. Like, I just absolutely love it. And so I've created a program, and you've seen the program, and I'm hoping to do it with individuals and also with groups.
Yeah,
it would be a really great program to have with groups, to have group support along the way and listen to each other's questions and learn from those as well.
Yeah. And like, you have the therapist background. You're also can I call you a recovering lawyer? Is that okay to say?
I'm a lawyer and a recovering perfectionist.
And a recovering perfectionist. So like, and you're a hell of a lot of fun. And I just feel like I can very easily see you sitting in front of a group of entrepreneurs kind of in like mastermind mode and facilitating a really great conversation that's going to be of huge value for everybody involved. So you've got that potential, and I know you're going to come through on it. So I know there are a lot of people in our community or as a podcaster, like they're trying to figure out the monetization game. They're like, how do I make money? And a lot of people get hung up on sponsors, but like with you, what we're doing is saying, let's bring ideal, like super fans, listeners, let's offer them up some free coaching. Like when they come on your show, A, they get exposure on a podcast. B, it's free coaching. There's normally cost a pretty penny. And C, they're probably going to be able to make more money from the advice that you give them. Like that can help bust that cap of that ceiling that they've been bumping into. So like, I just want to challenge our community to think in the terms of like, how can you add value to somebody else's journey? How can you shorten the learning curve? That's monetizable. You feel like I'm right about this, Kathryn?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I used to limit myself here. At first I didn't see myself as a business coach, right? I mean, I thought, well, yeah, I'm a therapist. I can help people individually and in their personal lives. But through doing it, and I began to get some coaching clients who were in business wanting me to help them with their business. And I realized whatever is holding you back in your personal life, whatever you're telling yourself, whatever your limiting beliefs are, you don't check those at the door when you walk into your office or when you turn on your computer to start your workday. That is what's getting in the way of your business as well. So, yeah, I think going straight to figuring out your limiting beliefs and how you've been limiting yourself and how you've been thinking about monetization. Expand that. It doesn't have to be black or white. There are all sorts of shades of gray in the middle, and what suits you, your audience, and what you're trying to do.
Yep. And like, there's so much out there where people are just, again, confused and fearful of like, how do I do this? How do I get people through? And you do it by doing it. Like you have tried a lot of different things. You've put a lot of different offers out there. We've tried different lead magnets. And over this year of really trying and like not being afraid to try and fail, we've been able to tweak things and go, oh, let's change this. Let's change that. Let's niche down. Let's exclude some of these people. Talk about that a little bit, because I know that there's always fear there when we do niche down and we go, but what about all this, the potential of these other people? But I feel like the realization that you came to was like the non-entrepreneurs, the non-preneurs, the non-entrepreneurs, let's call them that. Like they were a lot of work for you, and a lot of them will do the free thing, but they won't do the paid thing. And like, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. And I think it's important, you know, for me to say that I don't look at this year of trying as any sort of a failure. Without all of the things that I tried, that you and I tried, I would never have been able to gather the information to take this next huge step. So I hope all of the podcasters and entrepreneurs will look at everything they do as a possibility and potential of gaining information that is so necessary for the next step. And I had to dial into myself and give myself a little bit of time to think about how what I was doing was affecting me. Was it lifting me up? Was it energizing me? Was it helping me be my best self for everyone I was actually helping? Or did I feel like I was carrying too much of a load? And it did get to a point where I felt like I was trying to help people who wanted me to help them, but who then did not want to take the ball and run with it and do what they needed to make lasting change. I want to work with people, and I'm energized by people who may know that they're stuck, but they want to do something about it.
Yep.
They want to take my help and then learn those tools for themselves to be able to go out and have the life that they want to have.
Yeah. And successful entrepreneurs know the value of a good coach. That's just how it is. Like we all have coaches. Like I have coaches. I invest in coaching, and, you know, I've done coaching with you, and, you know, like we just know that that's the best way to get to where we want to be from point A to point B is find somebody that's already at point B and learn from them, you know?
And even, you know, I have so many people that come to me and say, I know exactly what my problem is. Like I'm incredibly self-aware, and you know what you know, but you don't know what you don't know.
Yep.
Another point of view is always super helpful and necessary. Either that, I mean, that's going to keep you from that huge learning curve a lot of the time.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Now on the monetization topic, I want to drop a little knowledge on this, because with the Thursday Spotlight, I don't usually get to talk about monetization, but we're kind of just doing that this week. Being on the side of, like, I started off my first show, Million Pound Mission, was self-help health. And since then, I've got a couple of business-based podcasts about podcasting. And I've even transformed that one into more of a business entrepreneurial-based niche down show. So what I've found is that when it comes to monetization, if you're in the self-help or health lane, it's, in my experience, it's harder to monetize that. Even if you're selling your own programs, products, and services, you can't charge as much as if you are teaching somebody how to do business or make more money. Mm-hmm. So like with Million Pound Mission, I had memberships, and, you know, I could charge maybe $29 a month, maybe $40 a month. And with a business-based membership, they usually start at $197 a month. Like that's the difference. And it's a shame because we need both, but people are more willing to invest in their business than they are in their health. And that's just the cold hard truth. And so that can be frustrating. Now it's different if you have a giant brand, a giant following walking into it. You've got the numbers. Do a $29 a month membership and crush it with thousands of people in there. But if you don't have that, it's going to take a hell of a lot of work and a lot longer time if you're working in that self-help health space. Now, I don't want to like be Debbie Downer about this for all the health podcasters listening. I'm like, oh crap, I'm starting my brand and this is going to take forever. Mm-hmm. You have to figure out how to serve entrepreneurs. So with me, with Million Pound Mission, we transform it into Low Carb Hustle, and we double niche down in the low carb space for low carb entrepreneurs. And we're going to start doing low carb entrepreneurial workshops in the health space. People will pay top dollar from that. So it's figure outable. I want to give people hope. But that's kind of the basis around this transition with Kathryn. I'm like, you're an entrepreneur. You represent entrepreneurs. You can serve entrepreneurs at a high level. Let's serve entrepreneurs at a high level and let's go. So that's kind of where we're at, right, Kathryn?
Yeah, and it's just like with your podcast, your expertise has not changed, but it's just as valuable toward the customers that you're now directing it to, right?
Yep.
It hasn't, what you've learned and what you know, you've had that knowledge. It's just, who are you going to target with that knowledge? Who can you help the most? And so absolutely, totally agree.
All right. So obviously you're looking for entrepreneurs to get in front of this. So who do we need to come on your show to connect with you? The website is scrolling across the bottom of the screen like the stock ticker. Stock in Kathryn is going up, ladies and gentlemen. So they can use that to get a hold of you. But who specifically are you looking for to bring on the show? So this is a great guesting opportunity for everybody watching here today.
Absolutely. If you are an entrepreneur who is either working all the time and not having the relationships and the other parts of your life working for you, I would love to talk to you. If you are a perfectionist entrepreneur who is thinking it to death and can't seem to take action, I want to talk to you. If you used to be one of those two entrepreneurs and you have pulled yourself out of that and you have a story about how you became unstuck, what changed in your life, any sort of big realizations, then I want to talk to you as well.
Nice. I'm the first guest, just so you guys know. I get first in line. Kathryn, I'm very excited for you. And I just want to say how proud I am of you for putting in the reps. Like, you've been putting in reps for the last year, figuring this out, never giving up. And I talked to a few of our younger podcast community members here. And I told them, I was like, the only thing that's going to like limit you is you limiting yourself. The only thing that's going to, end this dream is you ending the dream. You hitting the off button on your microphone. As long as that mic's on and that mic's hot, we got a shot. And like, that's something that you represent really well. You're figuring it out. You know that you add value. Like, that, like, I know how I add value. And you're like, okay, it's just figuring out how to connect the dots. And that's something that I feel like you're this close to it just exploding. So if you guys want to connect with Kathryn and get on her show, use the website below. She's in Winject Connect as well, so her info is in there. So it's time to rock and roll. Kathryn, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. And I can't wait to see what you do next. All right.
Thank you. But I just want to tell everybody that if they're having any trouble connecting the dots on their own, that they need to get in touch with you.
Well, that's what we're doing here. Like, yeah, they're in the right space. Like, yeah, when the Winject world, just be there. Just keep showing up. The good stuff's going to happen. So, all right. So I'll do a few quick announcements here. Kathryn, thanks again for joining us. Monday, we've got our next Q&A happening. All right. So be ready for that. I'm going to send out the email to everybody in Winject world tomorrow, letting you know what's happening the next 7 days. You don't want to miss the Monday Q&As. They are awesome. All four of the founders are coming on, and we're ripping it up with our best stuff. And we're there for live Q&A. If you are feeling stuck and need some help on your podcasting journey, get there. We've got our tier 1, tier 2 memberships available now. Plug into that. Team Winject is on a path of victory here. Like, we aren't slowing down. That's for damn sure. So also, I want to give a shout out to, I refer to her, I see her as kind of the Wizard of Oz. She's the voice behind the screen here that makes all this beauty, like all this stuff that's happening around you on the screen. That's 𝗓𝗏. Shout out to 𝗓𝗏. Fist bump to 𝗓𝗏. Everybody fist bump. Boom. And like, she rocks it. She's this magical voice from the universe that fixes all the things that we mess up. So shout out to 𝗓𝗏. With that, I wish you all health, happiness, and many downloads, and we'll see you next Thursday. Carlin, drop the mic.
This podcast is part of the Winject Studios network, where podcasters come together to focus on community, collaboration, and collective impact. For more information on how to apply to join the network, go to www.winject.com. That's WINJECT.com. If you're ready to make a difference through podcasting, then we're ready to see you there.